Happy Halloween and welcome back to the Resistance broadcast, everybody. I'm John. How are you? Thank you so much for joining us today. We have a special show today, not because we're celebrating Halloween, but because we have a special guest with us, and we'll get to her in just a moment. So first, let me quickly... Sorry, Ash. I just bring in James and Lacey. Guys, how are you?
I'm doing good. Back again.
Back again, like Eminem. Lacey, what's up?
Mm-hmm. Good. Ready to talk Star Wars.
All right. And with us, the reigning queen of Porg Nation, creator of Therm Scissor Punching on this podcast, from Entertainment Tonight, Ash Crossan. Welcome back, Ash.
Hey, thanks for having me back.
I love that you clap for yourself.
Yeah.
Somebody's gotta.
My son does that all the time. He's like, I did it.
Be your biggest fan, you know?
So yeah, it's been about since before Solo came out. It's about a year and a half since you've been back.
Yeah. So I remember I was in my old apartment. Now I'm in a different apartment.
Yes. And
that's personal stuff, but
it all started when.
Yeah. So, Ash, before we get into our segments and stuff, how have you been? How'd you vibe the trailer for the Rise of Skywalker?
Well, I thought it was great. I don't know. I was just like, I feel like whenever I watch those trailers, I don't know what I'm expecting, but I like watch them and I'm just like, okay, like Chad from SNL. And people are like, did you like it? I'm like, no, I loved it. I'm just like, I don't even want to think about it too much because once I start digging in, then I mess up all my expectations for the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, without
I think you tweeted, you were like, I just sit there in silence to just go, dope.
That's like, I filmed myself and I was like, I can never post this. It's the stupidest thing I've ever watched.
Yeah, but we need that balance because some reaction videos are so up here that we need the ones that are just like, I'm just chilling.
There's Eric Butts and then there's like Ash Crossan down here just being like, dope.
And you guys are the balance of the force of reaction videos.
That's true. Yeah. I love that guy, by the way.
Yeah. Mark Hamill tweeted that guy. So, I mean, celebrity status there for reaction videos. But let's hop into it right now, James. We have a segment called One with the Force, Ash. So we're all going to run through the gauntlet together. So fear not. But let's get it going right now.
The Force is with me. And I'm one with the Force.
All right. So I don't know if you know or not, but we're going to have these 5 separate questions. We're all going to give one simple answer, maybe a quick explanation of what's going on. But let's get to that first one real quick. So One with the Force this week. If you had the power to influence J.J. Abrams to put one of the following species into The Rise of Skywalker, knowing that the other 2 would not appear in the movie, which one do you pick to appear? So Ash, we're starting with you on this one. The choices are an Ewok, a porg, or a gungan.
Why are you going to do this to me? I'm going with an Ewok. Yeah. I know this is sacrilege, but I just feel like the implications of an Ewok are so much more powerful than having a porg. I'm sorry, porgs. I love you. I will always be your queen, but I'm going with Ewoks.
Nice.
And you have the shirt on.
Good answer.
And yeah, I wore
Yeah, Ewoks. So
wait,
saying anything else would be sacrilege.
Is that a Gummy Bears Ewok thing?
You know, I don't even know what this is about, but I love it. It's bright green.
Yeah.
All right, John, what's your one pick?
I'm going with Ewok too, because Warwick Davis, like get him back in the little furry suit as Wicket. You know what I mean? And same kind of thing with porgs. Like porgs are cool, but they're like birds to me. Where Ewoks, he can like do stuff. He can get things done. And even in Last Shot, we saw like they can become like hackers,
murder bears.
And then Gungan, like, I know it's cool to like Jar Jar and stuff again, but not over Ewoks for me. So I got to go with Ewoks.
All right, Lacey, what are you picking?
Ewoks. I'm like so unoriginal. I just want to see little bears kill people. Like, I just would like to see that again. And I want to see some Yub Nub, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For me, I'm going Gungan. Actually,
wow. Really?
I would love the idea of an Ewok, but it feels like it's not going to happen anyway. So I'm thinking the gungan thing would be really cool to bring back the prequel side of it. I think JJ would handle it interestingly. It would look really good in today's graphics.
That's true.
And we also had a book recently where someone was trying to talk to a gungan, and he was like talking down to him, and the guy was like, "Shut up, we're not like
Han
that.
in Last
We're
Shot.
not all like." Yeah, that's right. Yeah. He's like, we're not all like that. So I think like bringing in a different flavor there could be cool. All right. So next question. Which one would you rather see remove their helmet? The Mandalorian in season 1 or Zorii Bliss in The Rise of Skywalker? Ash, back at you.
I'm going the Mandalorian. I mean, I think it's going to be like a whole thing where like he's almost going to take it off and he never takes it off, or the freaking episode ends right before he takes it off. So I feel like I'm going to want to see that a lot more than Zorii. So yeah.
All
right. John, what do you got?
I got to go with Zorii Bliss because, I mean, we can get maybe Mando taking care of that in season 2. But I got to see, what's her name? Why am I blanking on her name? I care so much that I forgot her name. Yeah. Yeah. So I think seeing Zorii Bliss would be cool. Also, because I want her to not be another Phasma. Like, let's take the helmet off. Right? So, yeah.
Lacey?
I'm going to say Mandalorian because Pedro's amazing and I want to see him like act. And Zorii, so far, we've seen him in everything. He's just been like, she's been just standing there. And she, like, even in the trailers, all the shots she has, I don't think she's taken the helmet off.
You don't think she is?
The biggest,
No.
The biggest action shot is the poster. That's the most she's done.
Boom. Yeah.
I think she's going to be like a Boba Fett that like just doesn't take the helmet off and does like
Oh, man.
things. Because otherwise it's Carrie Russell to me. Like she takes it off. And
That's
her
her name, right? Yep.
Ash said Carrie Russell.
No, I know.
I did say it.
I'm going Mando on this too, because I think long form, that's the better result. Whereas like I could deal with a new character just being a character in a helmet for 2 hours. You know what I mean?
Sure.
There might be other stories and stuff, but I think like if you're good, I mean, we're already looking at what are these hour-long episodes? There's like 8 episodes, so it's like that's so much more content for this person to still be wearing their helmet. You know, like let's take it off. So I would go with the Mandalorian for me personally, but I would think it'd be cool to see Zorii as well. All right, next question. You are somehow signed on to write a Star Wars movie, and Disney/Lucasfilm are letting you pick the director. Who directs your Star Wars movie? Ash.
Ooh, first of all, that's a bad move on Lucasfilm's part. But I'm going with a rom-com.
They're going downhill.
I'm going the rom-com angle. And I'm gonna have who did the Parent Trap and all the who am I thinking?
Like the Lohan
Who directed
one?
The Parent Trap?
Who directed the Parent Trap?
Which one?
98? The Lindsay Lohan?
Yeah.
The Parent Trap was directed by Nancy Myers.
Oh, yes. I'm having Nancy Myers direct a Star Wars movie, and it's a rom-com. So have a good time with that. Or I'd have Taika, but like we're about to see that, so that's not an exciting answer.
All right, John, who's directing your Star Wars movie?
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck.
Ooh, good pick.
I mean, people like dog on that. He's a good director. And The Town is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's very rewatchable. And he loves Star Wars. And I think he'd do a good job. So Ben Affleck.
Oh, this is a tough one for me. I'm going to go with Taika. I feel like he would, I love to laugh, and Thor Ragnarok was like one of the funniest movies I've ever watched. And that was like all because of him. And yeah, it would be a rom-com with him and Ash, of course.
Yes.
Obviously.
My pick would be Denis Villeneuve, simply because of Blade Runner 2049. Now, I might fail at the box office. I might have like a huge budget movie and nobody goes to see it, but hopefully Star Wars will solve that. But that movie is a masterpiece.
You'd get a lot of
in
like
my
art
opinion.
cred as a film
Yes.
artiste.
Yeah.
Mine would be like, what the hell is there a Star Wars rom-com for?
Yeah.
Well, I have to be with Ash on this one. I'm like, well, no one would ask me to write an email, let alone a full-fledged movie.
But no, those are all good picks.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next one. Let's imagine that, again, Disney and Lucasfilm decide to give away all of the props and items from the set of The Rise of Skywalker. What is the one item that you would love to have from what we've seen so far? Ash, what are you thinking?
Ooh, can I take the whole Palpatine throne and have it in my apartment?
Oh. The spiky Beetlejuice chair?
The spiky throne, or just I feel like Kylo's lightsaber is probably the coolest prop to keep. Or that Sith dagger is cool too. But I'm going with the whole throne. I just want it in my apartment.
Wow. I can't.
John, what do you got?
Yeah, that's tough.
What are you taking?
I was just gonna mine's so lame now. I don't even want to go. I was gonna just say R2D2.
No, that's solid.
Those things cost $5,000 to make. I'll take one of those. It has to work though. It has to move around. It's not just sitting in the corner. An operational R2D2 with
fully operational.
Yes, exactly.
Lacey, you got a prop you'd like to steal or have?
This is a tough one. I would my initial gut reaction is Kylo Ren's lightsaber for obvious reasons, but I want Rey's because I feel like there's such a legacy that goes with it, and it would I could look at it and be like, this is in kind of all the movies.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably that one.
And then you could say that lightsaber literally belongs to me.
Yeah. In my museum.
Yes, quite the museum.
So it's funny because Ash took mine, which was the Emperor's throne.
Yeah. Because
nobody
knows what it is yet, so people will come over and be like, "What the hell is that?"
Beetlejuice chair. That's what I've been calling
that was going to be mine. But since I showed up too late and I'm like, oh shoot, what do you got left? I will take that Sith dagger, which is interesting. It was going to be my second choice, and you said it as well. I feel like that's going to be important. I mean, it might not, but she's holding in her hand in a pivotal scene. I think it could be really cool. So I guess I'll just try to get the jump on that and be like, I get that dagger.
Or I'm getting Palpatine's chair that he's using in that shot.
Yeah.
The rascal.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, is he in a jetpack? Does he have
That's
a
what I'm
jetpack on?
I need to see the other side of that. Is it the spider legs? Is it floating? Is it a jetpack? I need to.
Yeah.
I hope it's not
spider legs too.
Yeah, I hope it's not
Imagine
Doc
it's
Ock.
one of those chairs that are on the stairs that they press.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's coming down the doctor. He's like, excuse me.
Yeah. Hold on. I'll be right there.
I'll be there in 15. Yeah.
Or they cut away and he's actually just that tall now for some reason.
He's like, Snoke will not be the tallest
20 feet.
dark side user. Yeah.
Oh my God. Do you remember that? I thought Snoke was 25 feet tall.
Gigantic.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, last one in One with the Force. You can guarantee that one of these two appear as a Force ghost in The Rise of Skywalker. Who is your pick? Ash, your choices are Anakin Skywalker or Obi-Wan Kenobi.
So maybe we can talk this out. I'm going with Anakin, and then I want to talk about it because I feel like Anakin, there's a lot of meaning behind Anakin showing up to certain people. But everybody else go, and then let's talk.
Yeah, let's get it out real quick. John, who are you picking?
You know who I'm picking. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. Lacey, you got a pick?
Kenobi.
Oh.
Gosh, you guys.
That surprised me.
You two are nuts because there's no way I would pick Obi-Wan.
All right, then
absolutely,
then
I'd
we're
pick
even
Anakin
here.
on
Okay.
this. Yeah.
Because my question is, who would Obi-Wan talk to that it would be a powerful moment? I just feel like everybody that he would have a conversation with as a Force ghost is gone. That you're I feel like everyone else would be like, who are you?
Yeah, I think
that's where I'm coming from for sure.
I think
Anakin holds so much more weight over the trilogy or the trilogy
I
of
agree.
trilogies.
I want Anakin to show up to Kylo and be like, "Hey, knock it off."
I feel like there's a really, like, if we did percentages, I feel like there's like an 85% chance of Anakin showing up and like a 15% chance of Kenobi. But I would just love, for the sake of ILM and like seeing Alec Guinness one more time with like Steven Stanton doing the voice or something, just to give us one more glimpse at old Obi-Wan before we go back and visit young Obi-Wan again. Even if it's just a brief thing where it's him and Yoda again and getting those Empire, Return of the Jedi feels, because the Anakin thing, my whole issue is that his arc was so powerful and how it ended in Return of the Jedi that if they bring him back just as a like, hey, I'm back, I'm Hayden, with a different director this time, I don't know. I'm sure they'll do it well, but I have to just hope for Kenobi because I think we'll get Anakin.
Lacey, you got thoughts?
Sorry, I was muted. There was another bug in my room.
Another one?
I know.
She's like,
So
she's like Winona Ryder up in
so
here.
bad just came in and like killed it while you guys are talking, and I'm sitting here like. Anyway, Kenobi. So like this is a purely self-centered thing. Like I just love Kenobi and I want to see him in the movie, and I just feel like, and I've said this before, if Hayden was gonna show up, he would have shown up already because Kylo's been talking to that mask, which he thinks his grandfather is speaking to him through. So I completely understand Ash saying like, okay, but why Kenobi? I have no reason except that I want to see him. That's my only reason.
I mean, I feel like everybody's going to show up. I feel like we're getting like an Avengers level like portal scene, which is like everybody, which like we've kind of already gotten a glimpse of that. So just have like a Force Ghost party, like have everybody show up.
Yeah, and in TFA, he shows up like in the Force vision, Force back thing that she has. So like there is some reason that he would talk to Rey.
I thought it was because she was his grandma.
I know. Headcanon.
JJ's like, me too.
I still want that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm with Ash on this. Like, I don't see like super big importance for him to be there. And like, I think that if Anakin showed up, it would mean so much more. Especially with JJ saying the thing about, you know, the last chapter of these books not really referencing the originals, you know?
Mm-hmm.
If you remember that quote, it just kind of makes it think like if you're reading this through, you're like, oh, I get it. Okay, so Luke and Leia and Han and these characters and stuff. Where's Anakin? Like, how is he not involved in this? Like, he was probably one of the biggest reasons that the whole first thing happened, you know? So right. I don't know. That's for me. All right, well, that's it for One with the Force. We normally do the Patreon pod race at this point, but I think we're just going to go right into the discussion this week. John, you want to take that away?
Obi-Wan once thought as you do.
So our guest, Ash, moderated the panel press conference for The Mandalorian, which included, and here come the name drops, Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, Gina Carano, Carl Weathers, and Pedro Pascal. So let's put away episode 9 for now and focus on Mando, which is only 12 days away. So, Ash, if you can just kind of start by giving us a, not really behind the scenes, or if you want to, but an overview of that panel and press conference with that impressive list of people and your experience and all of it.
Yeah. So I'll just tell you what like the whole day was like. So first of all, we got there at like, I don't know, 8:30 in the morning. And then they screened for us 27 minutes of The Mandalorian, which I thought going in was going to be like half an episode or almost an episode. I don't know how long they are at the moment, but it ended up being like 3 chunks of the show and then the trailer. I think it was 3 plus the trailer. Yeah. So it wasn't like it was like, I know exactly what happens in The Mandalorian. It was more just like, I think chunks to like convey what the tone of the show was going to be. Mm-hmm. And we actually didn't see Cara Dune, Gina Carano's character yet. And we didn't see like Giancarlo Esposito and like a couple of the other people. It was really like The Mandalorian meeting up with like Grief Karga, who's Carl Weathers, and then like going on this mission. And then it kind of cuts to like another like kerfuffle that the Mandalorian has got himself into, and then like another one. It seems like he's really going to get beat up a lot, actually. By various things. So yeah, and it was just like a lot of kind of conveying what the tone of the show is like, which is like this like super cool, like gritty, lawless underworld, with just like, it seems like a little bit darker than normal. Like I know in the cantina scene when like the arm gets cut off and you're like, whoa, I'm 8 years old. It's kind of like that. Like things happen where you're just like, whoa.
Like surprising for Star Wars.
Yeah, where I'm like, whoa, this is on Disney Plus. What are you guys doing over
that's
there?
Cool.
But
that's cool.
Are you talking like TV 14, TV MA, like Sons of Anarchy, like violence?
well, so no, I mean it's I don't think there's like blood or anything at Star Wars, but you like the one that's in the trailer is like when he grabs the guy and like pulls him through the portal door and then just like stuff like that.
It slap chops him.
Yeah, it really does. It really does. So yeah, they showed us that, and I think my biggest takeaway from that, other than just like what the tone of the show was, is the score of the show, which is by it's by Ludwig, who did
Black Panther.
Black Panther.
Yes. So it's like
Childish Gambino stuff.
Yes. And the score was like my biggest takeaway, just because it was so like Tony, like
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
dark ominous tones. Dark ominous tones. And then I did an interview with the cast for ET that will be running, I think this week.
Nice.
Might be up already. I don't know. And then I did the press conference, which being asked to moderate anything is such a huge honor. And being able to moderate something for Star Wars was something that was been on my bucket list, which I kind of have done thanks to Lacey. Did a one-on-one with John Boyega that was really, really awesome.
I heard you guys are dating, so
we are a little, we're working on things because it's long distance and things get a little complicated and he doesn't know me. I've been working on that whole like thing. He lost my number, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, we're going great. Things are great. Things are good. I'm trying to get him to come on for Thanksgiving. So yeah, I moderated the press conference and it was super awesome because a little like behind the scenesy of it was I had this assumption, I think from watching like celebration panels and all that kind of stuff, that it was going to be very orchestrated and very like, here are like the things you can ask and you cannot say this word and you can't do this. And if you mention this, and it was more like, and I think this maybe speaks to like John and Dave a little bit, but it was more just like, ask it and see if they answer. Like it was like they know how to handle it. And I think there was one that I asked Dave about like I was like, listen, you bring a lot of people from like, these are like curse words, but you bring a lot of people from like Legends into canon. Like, is there anything that we could be looking out for? And he was just like, no. Like,
hey.
nah.
And I was like,
Direct answers are okay.
He was just like, I think he meant just like, no, I'm not going to say anything. He's like, there's always surprises, but like, don't like, I'm not answering this question. So, I can't speak to like what celebration is like. I think those things when you're trying to hit like, you got to throw to a trailer at some point or like, ooh, we've got this footage and we're going to like tee it up before. But they really kind of let me ask the questions that I wanted to ask. And then there was like a Q&A portion and those people were smart and asked great questions as well. So it was so fun. Would do again.
What question did you ask that they gave you the best answer?
News-wise, I would say we were talking about Carl Weathers and John or Dave just straight up dropped that Carl Weathers is directing an episode in season 2. And then they were like, should we have said that? And then they were like, should we talk about the other ones? And I was like, yeah, keep going. And then they were like, nah, we shouldn't. I was like, no, keep going. And then I kept bringing up the holiday special because it's just like my favorite thing because Jon Favreau loves it so much and like has clearly like inserted it into the show in like all kinds of ways. And I was like, so I think like at the end, I was like, I think I speak for all of us when I say we would love a holiday special. And him and Dave were like, yeah. And like everybody clapped, which I was like, what's happening in this room right now? Like a bunch of holiday special like stands in here. And they were like, yeah, there it is. Like, let's do it. And I was like, if we get a holiday special, I don't want to say I did it, but like
you did it.
Yeah, right. So yeah, I think the holiday special is at the point now where everyone hated it so much that now it's becoming funny to like it, but they forgot that it's funny and now everyone likes it.
It's like, when's the last time you tried to watch it? Because it's just, you can't. It's only like 90 minutes or something. I think it feels like 7 hours of your time.
Yeah, it's like
totally does.
yeah, it's like watching the Ten Commandments.
Yeah. I will say the animation is cool. That little
the
segment.
Boba Fett deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't that the first time they didn't Favreau say that was the first time we ever saw Boba Fett? Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah, I think Sam's like this random parade where somebody like was wearing the Boba Fett costume and everybody was like, who's that? And then it just never came up again. And then
All right. So when this thing, what's your biggest takeaway from the press conference itself that when you went in, you didn't expect to get from them? Is there anything like that? Or maybe things that didn't make the final edit, something that stood out to you that really hit home?
I would say, I mean, the one thing is somebody asked Pedro, they were like, so how much are you going to be like, how much were you in the costume versus like it was stunt work? And he kind of like danced around it a little bit and was like, well, the stunt people are really like integral to this project, which made me think that like he's not. But
On set as much.
But I will say my takeaway from that wasn't like whether or not Pedro's on set. It's that people like, I feel like people are going to jump on that a little bit and not see him as more of like a James Earl Jones types where like, does it really matter? Like he's the character, whether or not he was doing it or not, or how much he was doing it. And like, obviously he was, because he was talking about how he's bumping around in the armor on set and stuff like that. But that was my takeaway that I was thinking in my head. Cause I was like, I'm ready to like go to bat for Pedro over this, if this becomes a thing.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah. He seems so likable and not in a, I know I have cameras on me sort of way. He seems genuine in everything I see him in. Is that the case?
Yes. He's such a, like, he's so like when you saw that footage of him at was that Celebration? Yeah, at Celebration when they did the Mandalorian panel and he was like talking about being on it and he was just like, and like puts his head down. Like he's just like that. Like he's just so like enamored with this role. Oh, I love him. And I mean, I felt the same way about Gina and Carl. Like Carl Weathers is like a legend. So when you go to talk to him, like I don't know, anybody who's like a legend in Star Wars, I'm like, I wonder if they like care that they're in this, but he was literally like, he's like, if they're doing a holiday special, like I want to do it because I'm like so down for this. And Jon Favreau even said like, he wasn't supposed to be in the show as much as he is. And he was like, we've kind of like conned Carl Weathers into like, kept coming back for like additional scenes. And now he's like big in season 2 and like he's directing an episode. So they've just kind of like tricked Carl Weathers into like being a big Star Wars daddy, which I love. And then Gina, like just bless the earth that she walks on. She is the coolest person. She's so sweet. And we all know she can like kick the crap out of anybody. So she was even like in the panel was like, oh, I did like, she was like, I'd get pissed if somebody else was in my costume, like if like a stunt double or something, because she's like, that's my, like, I'm Cara Dune, like nobody else is Cara Dune.
That is awesome.
Like when she talked about like carrying people and they were like, oh, you don't actually have to do that. And she had been doing it for like multiple takes of like carrying someone. I'd literally let her punch me in the face and I'd be happy to do it.
I would let her punch me in the face. Absolutely. I want her to carry me. Like,
just
like,
hold me, Gina.
You know, in Toy Story 4, when like Woody and Forky are like walking and he keeps being like, carry me. And then it cuts to him carrying him. That's what I want with Gina. Like,
could you imagine like just piggybacking and
just like Yoda?
Go, Gina, go.
Anyway, in love with her. She's great.
Do you get any feeling that it's a situation where, and not just because it's a male and female protagonist, that this would be something that they're going to be like a romance between the two characters, or is it more like buddy cop sort of thing?
I'm getting more of a buddy cop feel. I don't know. I mean, granted, I haven't seen any scenes with them, so I have no idea what their chemistry even looks like.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I just get the vibe from her that she's just like, I don't need a man.
Ooh,
or a woman. We don't know her.
Right, true. Yeah.
I don't know her journey.
I don't know her journey.
She's just there to beat people up, and I dig it.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Ash. Was the footage that you saw, or any of it, the same stuff that we saw at Celebration?
Yes. I think, like, so it had, like, the exchange between, like,
grief in the Mandalorian, which I think we saw, where they were like passing over like currencies.
Yeah.
And then there was the part
like
with,
you don't want to take this job.
Yeah, that part was
Okay.
on there. And then like there was like some stuff in the trailer that was definitely on there, like the guy that we grabbed that gets slap chopped, and then and the part with Werner Herzog where he's like, bounty hunting is a complicated profession.
Yeah, that.
Good impression there.
Nailed it.
Yeah, so it was like a lot of like the teeing up stuff, but then once he like actually, I think, sets off for like whatever mission it is, it kind of cuts to black and then goes to another part, which was like, I guess, other episodes. So it was kind of like a little bit jumbled because they were like, we don't want you to figure this out, but
Okay. Now, did it have... So you were saying before the music was like, dark, ominous, and we made the Sarah Marshall joke, but is there any kind of connectivity to a John Williams traditional Star Wars score at all? Or is it just completely off the rails?
if there was, I didn't pick up on it. Like,
wow.
if there was something like really subtle in the background, like I think also, when the first time you watch something, like you're focusing on all kinds of things. And then it's like for me, 100%. For Solo, when I watched it, I was like, I didn't even remember hearing the score. And then I watched it again and I was like, oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah.
So there could be stuff that I just like totally went over my head, but it sounds very different to me.
Wow. That's cool. That's interesting.
What were the other scenes? Like where was it planets that we've seen in the trailer? Are we looking at like ice planets or the forest planet? Where were these scenes?
There was like, I don't know how much I'm supposed to say. There were I think 3 different locations.
Okay.
I don't want to give too much away. I don't, because they were just like, this is like, I don't know.
Let me hop on the blog, just quote Ash.
I'm trying to see what other people said.
Yeah.
So if you were to compare the look and feel of this show to another show that exists, what show would it be?
Ooh, well, I would say like Star Wars wise, it felt more like Rogue One-y than anything else. So I would say like a little bit like that. I think especially with like the color scale, saturation-ish thing. Whatever, I'm not a filmmaker. And then, I don't know, I think people keep comparing it to Game of Thrones just because that's like the only other TV show that's like, I'm like, this is some movie quality sets.
Yeah, makes sense.
Production going on here. Because I think that's the whole thing. Like for my childhood, I'm like, oh, I don't want a Star Wars live action TV show just because it's going to look like crap and it's going to be low budget and like, it's going to be like, I don't want to see that. And this is like chef's kiss movie quality, exactly what I want to see. I'm as excited, if not more excited than Mandalorian than 9. I don't know.
Really?
I mean, a lot of people are because it's just like completely different and it's exciting.
Yeah, I think that's what, I'm excited for like something new to speculate on. And like, I just have it's the unknown. Whereas like, there's just so much about 9 that I think we can like
assume
piece together. Could be right, could be wrong, and there's just I don't know.
And there's just
for something new.
A lot of fan baggage with the Skywalker saga at this point. I see what you're saying.
Right, like I'm ready for a new boyfriend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm ready to play the field.
Yeah.
I'm ready to play the field a bit.
Yeah. All right, that's interesting. So I don't have any more like questions per se, but in terms of did they say anything else aside from what they slipped about Carl Weathers, directing in season 2, or he's coming back for season 2? Like, are they all signed on for season 2, or is this one of those things like we can't tell you because we don't know who dies or what?
I think so, because when they came out, Jon Favreau had said he was like, oh, they were up till like 2 a.m. shooting season 1 or season 2 last night,
right? Okay,
or something like that. So. I mean, I assume they're all in it.
Yeah, okay.
Unless they're just like, so-and-so, pretend you're tired. Pretend you're like...
Was there a reason why Taika wasn't there? Was he doing promo for his current movie or something? Or?
Well, I feel like if they... I don't... Yeah.
Most of the directors weren't, though.
Yeah.
Jojo Rabbit, though.
Yeah, but he's in it. He's in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how big his character is going to be. Or if it's just going to be like a... I don't know. Because I also feel like if they bring him, then they're like, well, we got to bring...
Yeah.
The other 5-6 directors.
Giancarlo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I got you. Okay. All right. Interesting. Bill Burr, any idea on what kind of role he's gonna have?
Nope.
We saw him at Celebration, and I immediately was like, Bill Burr? And then nothing. And then recently he was like, oh yeah, I'm in it. And I was like, finally, he's admitting he's in it. And it's just the back of his head at this point.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Like, does he even care? Does he know? Like, I have no idea. But it's funny because whenever you watch anything about The Mandalorian, half the comments are about people excited about The Mandalorian, the other half about Bill Burr. Like, people are really into this.
Yeah.
I love Bill Burr.
Right.
I want to know.
Well, it's so random. Like, I love Bill Burr, but it'd be like, you know, Dane Cook is in the Kenobi series. It'd be like, all right, what's he playing? We can't tell you. Now I need to know what Dane Cook's being in the Kenobi series. Like,
and the story about it is so funny because he said that Jon Favreau was like, hey man, I'm shooting this thing. It's a Star Wars show.
Yeah.
You want to be in it? And Bill was like, I hate Star Wars. Like, I make fun of fans in my sets. And he's like, oh, it'll be funny. Come on. And now he's like shooting guns and stuff. It's like, it just looks amazing. And I want to know what he does.
yeah.
That's wild.
I know.
I thought it was interesting that you said, oh shoot, now I'm blanking on his name, Carl Weathers, that he was originally not supposed to be in the show as much, and they just liked his character and they kept like adding him and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm curious if that. I'm kind of the speculation guy. I know John is a little bit too, but like, how does that fit in? The fact that he wasn't like planned, because I think John's going for this theory on he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
But how would that fit in?
I don't know. Steve from Stranger Things was initially supposed to die, and they left him in the whole time.
Poe Dameron was supposed to die.
Yeah, same thing. So it's crazy. They just like have these crazy character arcs. I can imagine it's something like that. Like maybe they had him for a couple things, and then all of a sudden they were like, nah, dog, you're staying in.
Yeah.
I mean, Star Wars is always so like, they just like pay as they play, you know? They're just like,
Yeah.
It seems to be the deal. Yeah. Unless it's like Lawrence Kasdan and he's like, you don't want to use my script? You're fired. Like, get out.
It's more like, you're fired.
Yeah, you're fired. I like Han Solo.
wow, that wasn't bad.
Thanks. Have you ever interviewed Larry Kasdan, by the way?
Yeah.
Is he a nice guy?
And John together.
Is Larry a good dude or what?
He was great, yeah. Because when I interviewed them for Solo, and like John did most of the talking because he was just like super excited.
Sure.
But then when Larry did, he was like pretty funny. Like he was just like, "Oh, ET's interviewing me. Like, what are you gonna ask about? Like celebrity gossip?"
I don't have any other questions on Mando. Do you guys?
No, but we have fan questions.
Yeah.
Maybe we should go over to that.
Yeah, Ash, any final thing for our listeners or fans to get them hyped up for Mando that they may have not seen on every blog or site?
Oh gosh, what else can I spoil? No, no, I don't know. I think I touched on everything that I'm super stoked about. Happy Life Day. Yeah.
Happy Life Day.
Oh gosh.
All right, then, Lacey, why don't we get into Ask the Resistance right now?
I've been wondering, what are midichlorians?
All right, guys, time for Ask the Resistance. It's a special Thursday edition for Ash. So you guys have Star Wars questions. Hopefully you have some good Star Wars answers. So first, we have from @SW Fandom Report asks, do you guys think that we will get to see Leia use the Force in some way in The Rise of Skywalker? Thanks, and hashtag make Solo 2 happen. Thanks, Fandom Report. I'm going to go first. Do I think Leia is going to use the Force? It's tough because you have to think about how much footage they have of Carrie Fisher. And when you think of that, which is kind of a sad thing to think about, I can't see them making that happen because we've already seen several trailers and it's just the hug scene again. So it makes me wonder how much they actually have of her character to use. So I unfortunately don't think we will unless you count Force Ghost, which I think we're going to see a Force Ghost Leia at some point. All right. Next, we have Aaron Oania @Aaron. And he asks, what music do you think The Rise of Skywalker will end with? The Force theme, the main theme, another familiar theme, or something entirely new? So I'm going to have all of us answer this. Ash, you can go first. What do you think the movie will end with?
The Force theme, the main theme. Ooh, I think the Force theme is what I'm going with. My reasoning is just because I picked that one on the spot. But I think is that one's my favorite and that one's the most impactful to me. So I think ending with that would mean the most and I would probably cry. So
Right. James?
In my opinion, it ain't going to be the Force theme because the Force theme is how the credits roll. So it wouldn't, that scene, that main end scene wouldn't be that. I'm going to go with entirely new. I think swan song for John Williams. I think he's going to wrap this thing up in it with a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful song, which will be the end of all Star Wars. You know what I mean? I think I think he's going to bring something new. He ain't going to do the old.
John?
James, like, pretty much verbatim just said what I was going to say. Because I was thinking, like, when they went back and redid Return of the Jedi, he did that whole new victory celebration song, which I absolutely love. And that was the end of Star Wars at the time. So I could see him just like being like, I'm going out with a banger. And here's the new, like the end of Star Wars into the da-da-da-da-da-da. So, but I bet they do use Force theme though, Ash. They've ended the last two movies with the Force theme. So
yeah, because like Jedi Steps and Finale was like a play on it. And it was so freaking awesome.
Oh my God.
Work out to that song. Love it.
I cried to that song. So that's to work out.
I'm going to agree with Ash. I say it's Force theme because they're wrapping up all 9 movies where this whole story started with the Force. So why wouldn't it end with the Force theme?
They probably will.
All right. Next question is from David at BTBD David. And he asks, in the scene where Rey and Kylo shatter that black statue, fans have identified what looks like Chewie's bowcaster on the shelf behind our 2 Force users. If that's his, where is Chewie, James?
Dude, I have no clue.
That seems so bizarre to me. Something weird's going on.
Yeah. So there's another scene where Chewie looks like he's not wearing the bandolier. So you have to think that those two things might be happening at the same time. And the main idea here is that C-3PO is the one that's wearing the bandolier, the thing that's even in the action figure, the Black Series toy. So you gotta think that C-3PO is somehow involved in that scene with the breaking of the black statue. The question is why is he carrying 2 items from Chewbacca and 1 from Rey? It literally just makes no sense to me. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I'm just gonna have to go with it involves those things needing to be there for some reason. So they give them to C-3PO and Chewie goes off with Finn Poe.
That scene just
to
feels
do
like
something
super
different.
Weird.
Right?
Yeah.
The whole smashing thing, you're like, are they doing it is an accident? Are they working together?
Yeah, like why
What's
is she
going on?
holding a dagger? Like,
Yeah.
What if the dagger is a holding spot for a second lightsaber and they just don't want to show you yet?
They just put in a fake dagger.
That'd be funny. All fans going back saying like, Mortis, no! Like,
Yeah.
we're that close. Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Up next is Aiden Thompson at TW1NM4N.
He just put his license plate as his Twitter handle.
Yeah, it's Twin Man.
Twin
but
Man.
elite
Oh.
speak.
man.
He asks, is there any ability that you'd like to see the Force capable of doing? I really love the Force projection as a new ability and would love to welcome any newfound ones. Ash, I'm going to go to you on this question. So,
Yes.
Force abilities.
I would I mean, if we're talking personal life, I'd like the Force to be able to drive my car to work, do my taxes, like just all kinds of things to help me out. In the movies, though, I don't know, that's so tough because we got like new ones in every movie, right? We got like the lightning bolt fire thing. We got Leia going through space. We got the astral projection thing. There's got to be something like, I don't know. Like what's something that the Force could do that's
Hasn't been
Teleportation.
hasn't been done?
Oh, yeah, teleportation.
Like actually teleport you, not just like a projection of you.
Yeah.
Like the Hayden Christensen movie Jumper.
if they do it, then that's something that the Force can do. So it's kind of like just like look at the pantheon of X-Men and be like, what power would we like to?
I was just about to say, is it weird that I just go to X-Men
like,
and I'm like, okay, jump through walls, you could read minds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then there's like healing powers, but I'm like, that's dangerous. Can't do that.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Absolutely.
It's a
It's a good one.
All right, next is Dekind Awakens at Dekind Awakens. And he asks,
Hey, Mark.
with such a big push on the end of the Skywalker saga, do you think that there will be somewhat of backfire when more Star Wars movies come out? Will those movies immediately feel lower tier? John, what do you think?
All right. So I do think that's the case. I do think they're maybe even a little bit in panic mode right now about the future of Star Wars movies, all the rumors aside. Because they're putting all their chips to the center of the table saying this is the end of the Skywalker saga. They're not leaving any open ends here. I mean, but with that said, I don't think you can end the Skywalkers but still move on with Rey, Finn, Poe, and bring Chewie along and all them and still like be that's the new generation. They've been focusing on them on this new poster. There's no legacy characters on that. So I think you could do both. End the Skywalkers. This is 1 through 9. Put that on the shelf. And then we're going to move on with Rey. You know, Daisy Ridley's still really young. Boyega is still really young. They both haven't like taken off like superstars like Harrison Ford or anything like that. And that's no disparagement to them. But if Disney backs up the money truck in 5 or 6 years and like we need to reload this thing and get these familiar faces back, I think they'll do it. So so while I say yes, I think they'll always keep that in their back pocket in case they need to go back to it.
Excellent. And last but not least is the weirdest two names together. Eat the Rich at Talk Jar Jar to me.
Talk Jar Jar to me.
They asked, is there a deceased actor you wish could have been in Star Wars? A deceased actor who you wish could have been in Star Wars? If so, who? Mine would be Michael Clark Duncan. So I'm going to start with John.
Not yours. That was his pick.
That was his pick, as in mine is eat. No, I almost said eat Jar Jar to me. Talk Jar Jar to me is that Duncan guy. Go ahead, John.
That Duncan guy.
I'm going to say Vincent Price as a villain because I liked that they brought in like Christopher Lee to do Dooku, and I think Vincent Price is like an iconic old school villain, and I feel like he would fit well in Star Wars, and most of the people listening to this are like, who the hell's Vincent Price? But that'd be my pick. So Vincent Price.
James?
I'm gonna go with Heath Ledger. Mostly just because I think like the best role that he ever did was the last role that he ever did. So it kind of shows that like if he were still alive, he would be, I don't know, like clean sweeping it, I think now. They'd be putting him in this and this and this, and he'd be able to show that he can do, he already did show us he could do all the way to the left and all the way to the right, you know, as far as it goes. So everything in between, he could do it all. I think he was capable of that, and it would have been really good to see him fit a role in Star Wars. So how about that?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm going with Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh, that was my other pick.
Just loved him. I mean, even in like Hunger Games, I'm like, yeah, just like put that in Star Wars. I would love that. And also just Along Came Polly, Let It Rain, like one of the best scenes.
Yes. White chocolate.
When he slips, it's like Oscar worthy.
Rain dance.
I'm going to go with Robin Williams. He's like my favorite all-time actor, and I think he would be hilarious in Star Wars and play like some kooky alien or like some type of scoundrel that has to get them out of some hijinks. I think he would have just been really, really great. But that is it. Let us know what you think in the comments. Let us know which deceased actor you would want in Star Wars. In a happy way, not in a sad way. Because that was a weird question to ask you to put in the comments, so why not? If you want to be on the show with your question, make sure to follow us on Twitter at RBATSWNN, and you could be on the show. Back to you, John.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening and watching. And make sure you subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, YouTube, Podbean, Google Play, wherever you take in your podcasts, and spread the word because we're growing based on that. So you telling your friends Helps us grow, and we appreciate that. We also appreciate you guys supporting us. If you aren't tired of us 2 times a week, head to patreon.com/resistance broadcast. Check out all of our content over there. We have 5 tiers. If you dig it, sign up. We have a lot of exciting stuff coming down the pike starting on November 7th. And head to Star Wars Newsnet every day for your Star Wars news. Obviously, things are going to be heating up between Mandalorian, Resistance, Clone Wars, and of course, Episode 9. So go there every day for your Star Wars news. And you guys can find me on Twitter at Johnny Hoey and over at Star Wars Newsnet. Let's start with James. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Myra Trunks.
Lacey.
And no, that isn't a Street Fighter reference, John.
I said on Monday. I'm just kidding around. It's a Dragon Ball reference, right?
Yes.
Dragon Ball. Lacey?
People can find me wishing to get punched in the face by Gina Carano on Twitter and Instagram at Lacey Gillerin.
All right. Well, we're going to be looking for that tweet then. And our guest, first of all, let me say thank you so much for coming on, Ash.
Yay!
Thank you for having me back. Yay. So much fun.
Everybody knows where to find you at this point, but where can they hit you up?
Oh, you can find me on twitter.com at Ash Crossan, and that's where I post all my work anyway, but if you really want to go hunting, Entertainment Tonight's YouTube page, good place to start, etonline.com.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And now today's Halloween, so when are your interviews coming out that they can check out for the Mando cast and stuff?
Well, today is definitely Halloween, so probably 2 years ago.
2 days ago.
Good.
So go find them now. Yeah.
Ash, do you have any other cool stuff coming up?
I might be interviewing a guy who might be playing Obi-Wan. So that's my tease.
Nice.
Yes.
Looking forward to that then.
Yes. In a movie called
so
Dr. Sleep, but I'll sneak my thing in there like I do. That sounded really bad.
That's the audio preview.
I'll sneak my question in there like I do. Interviewer.
There you go. No, but thanks so much for taking the time. And it's been a year and a half. So how about we cut that down for the next time you come back?
Yes, please. Would love that. Invite me back.
Will do. All right, guys. Thanks so much. And we'll see you on Monday morning with another episode right here on the Resistance Broadcast. We'll see you around, kids.